Hey guys, I'm CMA Supra and welcome to another Company of Heroes video. Now I am still sick, which is the reason that I kind of disappeared for about a week or so, so if you hear any coughing, that is why. If you hear any sniffling, that is why. Just ignore it, okay? Okay, great. So now let's start the video. So this is another Company of Heroes video. In my last one, I mentioned that I kind of wanted to use some unused units, especially on the Wehrmacht side, because there are a lot of unused units on the Wehrmacht side. And these are units that people just generally don't use because they're considered to be bad or useless or just very, very specific to a very specific need that rarely ever happens in this game. So some of those units on the Wehrmacht side are all in, well, some of the units are all in Tier 3. That does not make any sense. Some of the units are in Tier 3. Tier 3 is the Sturm Armory, and the unused units I'm talking about there are number 1, the Officer. Yeah, the Officer. When was the last time you saw an Officer in a replay? Or when was the last time you used an Officer yourself? That has to be the most unused unit on the Wehrmacht side. Another unit is the Nebelwerfer, or Nebelwerfer, if you prefer the more German pronunciation, although I'm not going to say I'm pronouncing it like a German. Not even close, I'm sure. But the Nebelwerfer, it's not used very much, just generally because there's better artillery. If you're going Tier 3, it's generally worth backteching to Tier 2 and get the Walking Stuka instead on your half-track. But the Nebelwerfer, it's another pretty unused unit. Another unused unit, as the Wehrmacht, is Goliaths, or as I used to call them, and will probably call them in this video on accident, Goliaths. That was before I learned that they were called Goliaths. So, those 3 units I want to use in this game. Now, I will say that I had actually been trying to use these units for like a week or two, and while I was sick, I was kind of taking advantage of that. I had some extra time, and I was like, let's play a lot of Company of Heroes and try to use these unused units. And now I will say, I lost all but one game, and I played like 10 games trying to use these units. I lost all but one game. I only won one game in which I actually legitimately tried to use these units, because they are so bad. I'm not going to say it wasn't my own fault, just skill level wise as well, but the units are just so bad. It's hilarious how bad they are, and I don't care that I went down like 2 ranks in the process of doing it. I'm okay with that, but this game was the last one that I played with using these units. After I got this game, I was like, okay, I give up. This is good enough for a video. These units are so bad, I'm done. So, this game, I'm not going to say if I won or lost it, but it's the last one that I played. So, I guess going on telling you guys what I did in the beginning of the game as I explained all of that, it looks like I captured the entire northern half of the map. That pretty well sums it up, doesn't it? That's about all I had to say. I did build a Volk squad at the beginning, then a bike, and then an MG. I'm following the Volks, bike, MG, sniper, Volks build order. I guess it's the indefatigable strategy, I believe it's called. I could be wrong, but it's from many, many, many years ago. I don't know. I just know that's the build order I wanted to follow. I don't know if I followed it strictly in this game. I don't believe I actually built the sniper after the MG, so I could have just built another Volk squad. I'm not entirely sure what I did, but I did whatever I did. I don't know. So now we got a decent sized fight going on here. I have a single Volksgrenadier squad versus 2 rifle squads. I do have my MG42 capping, and that is because trying to get at these units, which are the Officer and the Nebelwerfer, to get to Tier 3, you need a lot of fuel. And so I wanted to get as much fuel as I could at the beginning of this game, which is why I pretty much captured nothing but fuel in the beginning of the game. But then after that, after I get as many fuel points as I can, I do want to get munitions points, because the Goliath is 125 munitions on its own, and all of the Officer's abilities, other than supervising, cost lots and lots of munitions. So between the Goliath and the Officer, I need lots of munitions, and just to get to Tier 3 at the beginning of the game, I need lots of fuel, and that is why trying to use these 3 units all together just does not work. It just does not work, because you need so many resources. It's just not easily feasible in any game. However, in this game, I should mention, before I lose you guys, like, oh, you're just complaining about these units, I do use these units to great effectiveness in this game, so you can look forward to seeing them actually be useful despite how bad they are. Or at least despite how bad the strategy of trying to use all 3 in a single game is. it's not a good idea to use all three in a single game because they're just bad. So in that huge fight, it looks like I actually won. It was actually like a difficult fight for me because I had to bring in my engineers, not my engineers, my pioneers. I'm playing as the Wehrmacht, not the Americans. My pioneers, my bike, my MG42, my Volksgrenadier squads, everything was there in that fight. Because my opponent just really wanted to push me off of there, and he was almost successful, except my MG42 kind of stopped him, and my bike also significantly helped there. Hello there, Rifle Squad. Can't do much to you with the Pioneer Squad, so might as well retreat. And I am teched up to Tier 2 now, I believe... No, I'm not building the Veterancy building. I was going to build the Veterancy building, the Campcraft Center, but I decided against it for whatever reason. I don't know what that reason was. I played this game like a week ago. So what am I going to do now? I know I'm wanting Tier 3. I guess I'm taking up to Tier 3 because I did see some progress bar on the HQ. And my opponent does have BARs, so he is not going to be fast teching to an M8. He's going to be instead getting BARs in his riflemen. He might or might not have a supply yard at this point in the game. I don't know. I can only assume he doesn't because I've had the high fuel point on the right for most of the game. So I'm going to assume that my opponent does not have a supply yard, so he has a high upkeep going on with his riflemen right now. That was a good move with my MG42, by the way. In case you didn't notice, it was facing left and suppressing that rifle squad and actually pinned it, and then the bike continued to keep it pinned, while the MG42 repositioned and faced to the right, or I guess south, to deal with the rifle squads approaching it from the right. And that's how you're supposed to use an MG42. You're not supposed to just set it up somewhere and leave it there, because that is how you get it killed, because it'll be flanked if your opponent knows where it is. You should be always repositioning your MG42. And I was right, I am teched up to Tier 3, I am building Tier 3 right now, and my intention when I get it out is either to go for a Puma, which if you can rush to a Puma as the Wehrmacht is very effective, or get an officer. A Nebelwerfer was never the first unit that I got out of Tier 3 in any of those 10 games. Maybe it should have been, I don't know, but it never was. So I'm either building an officer or a Puma. I'm probably going to build a Puma if I had to guess. Because a rushed Puma is very effective against opponents who are not prepared for that. I also have a decent amount of manpower floating, but that's not a big surprise considering I have been trying to quick tech, and that generally ends up with extra manpower. Because you're always just saving the manpower, saying, oh, just a little more fuel and I can tech up significantly. And you just want that fuel. So my opponent did manage to actually take the right side of the map there. He has the high fuel point along with a whole bunch of other points around there. The map's at about half and half right now, which is obviously not ideal for me, especially because he does have all 3 victory points, although I'm about to capture the left one. But that's what happens when you quick tech. You're so focused on getting the fuel that you don't really focus on much else. So that's kind of the downside. That's why you rarely ever see me go Tier 3 as the Wehrmacht. I usually go Tier 2 to Tier 4. Tier 3 is just not something I build very often. So, yeah. Anyways, Puma is up. And hey, I got enough munitions to build a Goliath. And I'm building a Nebelwerfer. Alrighty. Already got 2 of the units building that are... Well, 2 of the 3 unused units that I wanted to use in this game building. I just don't have an officer building, but that's because I don't have the manpower for it. Hello there, oh my god, so many rifle squads. Retreat, Volksgrenadiers. Hello, Goliath. You would be very, very useful right now if you can go and kill the rifle squads. Just get in there into a big blob and go kaboom and watch all the green XP things float away from the dead bodies. Can the green XP things be considered the souls of the soldiers who die? Odd way to think about it. So he's retreating. I don't know why, but my Goliath is on its way. Now, in case you guys don't know, a Goliath has one key feature that you should really, really take advantage of if you are building Goliaths, and that is that they can cloak. Now, they don't cloak on your command. They have to be in cover, and it's just automatic. So what I'm doing is I know my opponent cannot see my Goliath sitting in that crater there, and I know the crater is yellow cover, So I have my Goliath sitting there, and it went into cloaking, as you can tell it is right now. Now when I do reface it, it uncloaks itself, and I'm like, oh my god, opponent, you had the worst timing possible. You're gonna see my Goliath here. I don't know if you actually see it, but it's here. And now I need to just go kaboom! Kaboom! Yeah! So that's the first Goliath of the game. I did see a German body go flying there. I don't know if I killed one of my own or not, but my squad survived. He lost an engineer squad as well as 2 men in another engineer squad. So that was a pretty useful Goliath, I would say. Definitely hurting my opponent's manpower, and manpower is the rarest resource in the game. So I will take that any day. And it appears that my opponent has gone for paratroopers. What's it called? Airborne Doctrine. There we go. So he's going to be... like, the paratroopers are very expensive to reinforce, so I expect him to be very low on manpower this entire game, and maybe I actually have a chance of winning this game. Isn't that nice? Winning a game while using these 3 horrible units? There's a reason nobody ever uses them. At least not at the same time. Alright, so I got a Nebelwerfer out. I decide, where is my opponent's infantry most likely? Probably sitting somewhere in his base, and then I see them over here. I'm like, oh, they're not at his base, they're over here. So let's predict where he's gonna go and put a barrage there. And I also have an officer out who I'm not using yet because I'm a little busy over here. But I do have an officer, and we'll have to see how he gets used. I do put him to great use in this game. Here we go. So in case you don't know, the officer's abilities, number 1 is supervision, which is free. It basically just supervises one of your buildings, it makes units build faster. Ta-da, that's about it. I don't know how much faster, maybe 1.5 times or twice as fast, I really have no idea. But it just makes units build faster, or anything you're building in a base building build faster, such as veterancy. The second ability is Force Retreat, which is 50 munitions, and it force retreats one single squad of your choice from the opposing enemy side. And it can be useful to retreat one squad, as opposed to the 100 munition multiple squad retreat that is in Terror Doctrine. Like, even there, you saw me use the 50 munition one squad retreat. So his rifle squad has now retreated, buys me time. I'm not sure how useful that really was, but it does buy me time, and I can use this time to attack the rifle squad that's capturing the fuel point on the left side if I would actually go and attack them, like I really should be doing, but I'm not doing. Anyways, the third ability is, gosh, what is it? It's the artillery. And I think it's 125 or 150 munitions. I believe it's 150. But it's basically like the defensive artillery that you get. Defensive Doctrine's artillery. Hey, Force Retreat being useful, saving me a victory point there. Oh my god, my officer died. I forgot about that in this game. My officer just died like that. So, I will be building another officer, don't worry. You will see more officer usage this game. But, that's pretty funny. As I was saying, his artillery is basically like the Defensive Doctrine's artillery that you place down on a point. It comes down very fast like that. It's not the artillery that you can just place anywhere, because that takes more time to come down. So it's actually pretty good artillery. I don't think I use it this game, I could be wrong, but it is pretty good artillery. Hello there, paratroopers with recoilless rifles. I don't know how you can have recoilless rifles. They're firing a giant projectile. How is there no recoil? I do not understand that name. If anyone wants to explain how those are called recoilless rifles to me, go ahead, put it in the comments, but I honestly do not understand. That's a satchel under that Nebelwerfer. Bye-bye Nebelwerfer, that's for sure. And bye-bye Puma. Wow, that's horrible for me. Oh, and bye-bye whatever squad I had there. Probably Pioneers if I had to guess. Okay, not doing the greatest with this push. My opponent did pretty well with this multi-pronged attack. Luckily, it does cost a lot for him to reinforce his paratroopers. Oh my god, I lost a stew. I did horribly in this attack. My gosh. Okay, well, I got an MG42 that just got grenaded. I was about to use Force Retreat there, as you can see, but I do need 50 munitions. I don't have 50 munitions to spend because I was building a Goliath, so I do have another Goliath on the field. I don't quite know what to do with this one. I mean, if you have a Goliath and it wipes out one squad, that's pretty good. Because artillery is generally like 150 munitions, right? Maybe 200 depending on what you're using. And since a Goliath is 125, it's pretty good if you can wipe out one squad, because even artillery doesn't normally do that. So my thinking with the Goliath is spam them, use my munitions on him, use my munitions on Force Retreat as well with the officer, and just try to deal as much manpower damage as I can to the opponent. I do have my Goliath driving right by my opponent's victory point there, so he probably sees it there, so he knows that I have a Goliath, but it's entirely up to him what he does with that knowledge. I am going to be hiding it in yellow cover here, so it's cloaked. I do have to turn it around though, so that when opponents appear and they're nearby, I can just drive straight towards them and not have to spend the time for my Goliath to turn around and then drive towards them. Goliaths are awesome, I will say that now. Like, I'm complaining about how bad they are, but I'm really complaining about the Nebelwerfer and Officer. Mostly the Officer. But, the Goliath is actually pretty useful, it's just expensive. Force Retreat to the rescue, so my officer can continue capturing points over there on his own. That is one thing the officer is actually pretty good at. If your opponent does send just one random squad to attack him, which my opponent did not in this case, he sent two, so now there's still one here. You can just make him force retreat and run away, and hopefully your officer ends up surviving. I am waiting for the force retreat to recharge on the officer so I can use it on that second squad, and here we go! Bye bye, paratroopers! Gonna build myself another Puma, even though my opponent has tons of recoilless rifles. Maybe not the smartest idea. Maybe it's a great idea. Watch and find out. Advertising my own video while I'm there. And oh my god, my opponent spotted my Goliath but didn't actually shoot at it or anything. Okay, well, let's see. Where can I go? Where am I going to do the most damage? Right here in the middle of the rifle squad. Ooh. Almost wiped the squad, but can I wipe it with my infantry? I might be able to. I do, yes. Okay, so that's the rifle squad gone. I do use Force Retreat from the Terror Doctrine. I was wanting to get... I think I was only wanting to get the Paratrooper squad and focus fire on the engineers, which is kind of what happened, but he did retreat. He did capture the point as well, in fact. So, as you can see, I did go Terror, which gives me double Force Retreat. I have the 100 munition Force Retreat in Terror, and I have the 50 munition Force Retreat on my Officer. Was that the smartest idea? I'm going to tell you right now, no, it was not. The best doctrine to go, if you're going to use an officer, is Blitz. Because the officer gives you artillery, it gives you force retreat, basically it gives you everything you need from terror, and it also gives you everything you need from defensive, unless you're looking for like the bunker upgrade, you're looking for stronger bunkers. That's about all that, well, that's about all that, that defensive would give you. Because Blitz also gives you Stormtroopers, which can replace your Tier 2, because you are going to be fast-teching to Tier 3 if you're getting the Officer, or taking Tier 2 to Tier 3 if you're going to get it later in the game. But in this case, I get it early in the game, so fast-teching to Tier 3, Blitz will give me Stormtroopers, which are very useful as anti-tank, because you can put 2 Panzerschrecks on them, or you can use them as anti-infantry and put 2 STG-44s on them. Either way, they are very useful. So going Terror this game, no, it was not my smartest plan. I actually went Terror this game just to try it out as something different. Most of the games that I played with this strategy, I did go Blitz, because it was very useful to go Blitz. So I do use the Force Retreat again. I currently have 11 munitions. As you can see, munitions are just the core of this strategy. You need the fuel in the early game to take up to Tier 3, but then once you're at Tier 3, you really need the munitions to use the Officer and Goliaths and, well, I guess that's about it. Hello, grenade. You're not gonna kill me. I see you. I don't know why my opponent didn't cancel that grenade when he knew that I was backing away. But oh well, I will take it. You can waste your 40 munitions. So I do have a 63 munition income. I'm wondering if I built... Yes, I did. I did build an OP on that topmost, the northern one, munitions point. That is giving me the plus 63, because it's a plus 16, and when you put an OP on it, it becomes plus 26, so that's an extra 10 a minute. I think it was worth it, especially considering how much manpower I have. I do have lots of fuel too, though. So I'm building the Comcraft Center for some veterancy. Spend my manpower and fuel that way. I can also bet up my officer if I figure out which veterancy he's in. I believe he's in support veterancy. Could be wrong about that, but I believe it is support veterancy for the officer. I know I figured it out this game. Here I am actually looking at it, trying to figure out where is the officer. Is he infantry? Is he support? He is infantry. Okay, I was wrong just now. He is infantry. Get munitions from the carcasses here. If you buy a vehicle with fuel and manpower, and then it dies, you can then turn it into munitions by scavenging it. You're basically turning fuel and manpower into munitions. Is that a good trade-off? Absolutely not. But it's a way to trade it for munitions, I suppose. Totally intentional. I'm totally losing the 2 Pumas and the Stug because I want to get the munitions. Totally. Definitely just not me playing badly. I am going to take advantage of getting the munitions, though. Because I might as well, right? I need them. Hey, I can build another, whatchamacallit, Goliath. I have 180 munitions. I can also do whatever else. And yes, it is 150 munitions for the artillery from the officer. So I do have infantry vet 1 for my infantry and my officer. I don't believe I have support vet 1 yet, but I could in fact use it on my pioneers. That'd be very nice. Same with vehicle for my Pumas. Support vet 1 would also be good for my MG42, and I might in fact actually be building it right now. I'm not sure what I'm building. Level 1 or level 2 infantry? It is level 2 infantry. Oh my god, Volksgrenadiers, run away! Yes, you survived. Thank goodness. And now my opponent's going to be attacking my Nebelwerfer. So I gotta back that up. And here we go, another Goliath. Goliaths are fun. They're fun. They're effective if you can use them properly, and they're fun. So, that is one thing I learned. I also kind of learned how to use the officer in these 10 games that I played. I don't actually know if it was 10 games, but it was approximately 10. But I learned how to use the officer to do lots of things. It's a very niche unit. I can definitely see why nobody ever builds it, but you will see me using my officer a lot this game, as I have already shown you guys. And you'll see me using Goliaths a lot this game. Because Goliaths are just so much fun. Alright, opponent, where art thou? Hello, I see you not stole. That's a 30 cal. I see you have an MG. Is it gonna die? Nope, it survives, darn. I was hoping the Nebelwerfer would kill it, but at least it retreated. I need to decap this unit, this point, rather, and then retreat. And I have a Puma up here. I need to send my Puma to kill off this Flamer squad. Because in this game, unlike in Men of War, a flamethrower on a vehicle does not set the vehicle on fire. A flamethrower does nothing to the vehicle. Hello there, power up? No, fire up. You shall get force retreated by the terror doctrine. I was going to send my officer to do it, but I saw he was about to throw something at my MG42, so I was like, nope, let's use the regular force retreat from terror. I will say, even though I said it was the wrong choice to go terror this game, it was actually useful to have force retreat on my officer and in the doctrine. It may have been better just to have 2 officers, but I think it was actually useful to have all the force retreats. The downside of having so many force retreats, though, is you're not going to be doing any damage to your opponent's squads. You're just going to be sending them back to base so he can come back with an even stronger force. I will say that's a downside to using too many force retreats, but sometimes you just gotta use them. Like in this case, I don't want my opponent getting that MG42, so force retreat, and then run away with my bike because it has a damage engine and, in fact, almost died. Puma was on its way, but it was too late, so having that force retreat on the officer was nice. Oh my god, here's an AT gun. Run away, Puma! Run away! Run away! There we go, run away! Run away with the bike as well. But now I do have an issue. My opponent, just like I said, I just made his forces retreat, so now he's come back with an even stronger force. It doesn't actually do me much good to force retreat, and yeah, that is an issue. Alright, officer. Oh, Goliath, I forgot about you. Oh, 2 rifle squads down, just like that. That is why Goliaths are awesome. And I am fully aware that it is called a Goliath. Like I said, I'm going to call it a Goliath on accident in this video, even though I know it's a Goliath. But that was awesome. That's why I like Goliaths. This Puma is about to die, though. I'll be amazed if it survives. It's gonna survive. The bike, not so much, though. Oh, nope, my opponent's running away from the bike. Not sure why, but I'll take it. He easily could have killed that bike. Maybe he thought I had more forces back here or something, but I definitely don't. Definitely don't. Bike's probably gonna die there, though. Yep, there it goes. It was not repaired, and there was a rifle squad firing at it. It was doomed. I am very close to getting a King Tiger, though. I'm trying to save up manpower to get it. It's 500 manpower, plus for 5 minutes it reduces your manpower income by 100 per minute. So 500 plus 500, it's 1,000 manpower in reality, but it's 500 up front. It's like paying financing for a car. Hello, 30 cal MG or MG42, I'm not sure. I think my opponent stole my MG42, I could be wrong. But I think he stole my MG42. So, that's probably what's sitting in that building. And hey, I built another Goliath. By the way, you guys, you can set a waypoint from your bunker by just right-clicking anywhere on the map, just like you set a waypoint from one of your tier buildings. You can set a waypoint so that whenever Goliath is done building, it'll go there. I just didn't really get a chance, or I kept forgetting to this game, or kind of combination of both. Oh, that's a grenade! Run away, girl! Run away, folks! Officer is screwed. Not gonna do much there. Oh my god, what did I just do there? Oh yeah, that was the Goliath. I had it at the corner of the house, and I think something else blew it up. It wasn't me. I could be wrong about that, but I think something else blew it up. Anyways, the MG is dead. That's the main point, and that's awesome. So my Goliaths so far have killed 1 engineer squad, 2 rifle squads, an MG, maybe some more things that I'm not remembering, but they've done quite a bit of damage to my opponent. However, that's a minimum of 3 Goliaths that I have built, and 3 Goliaths are 375 munitions, which is a lot. So it's kind of questionable whether or not they're worth it, but they're awesome, they're useful. It's just, I don't know if they're worth it. Now I do have a King Tiger app, and ooh, strafing run on a single Volk squad. It actually wipes out the squad because there was 1 guy left and then he got recoilless rifled in the face, or I guess in the back rather. But I have a King Tiger app now. Let's see what this thing can do. I got lots of manpower, lots of fuel. I should really be spending it on something, especially since I've been triple capped for most of this game. Although my opponent does have 270 victory points remaining, so I haven't done too badly. But I am triple capped. I should do something with this King Tiger. My opponent, I don't believe, is ready for the King Tiger. He doesn't have enough AT guns or recoilless rifles. Could be wrong, but at this point in the game, I don't believe that he is prepared for my King Tiger.
We're losing a sector.
So, scouting out here with my officer. My officer is Vet 3 because I have Infantry Vet 3 right now. And Vet 3 officer, let me tell you right now, is very survivable. It takes almost no damage whatsoever. I learned that this game. I mean, you'll see a whole lot of things firing at this Vet 3 officer, and he's just not going to die. It's going to amaze me. So there was a scouting run. My opponent now sees that I do have a King Tiger and a Puma. My Puma tried to shoot down the airplane, but obviously that failed. So, nice shot there, King Tiger. My opponent is using the AP rounds on his AT gun. You can tell by the sound, they sound different. Which, by the way, if you guys don't play video games, or rather Company of Heroes with sound, what's wrong with you? Sound is like half of this game. Like, even when there's artillery being thrown on you, your units will yell artillery, or incoming, or something, and that's how you know that there's artillery coming down. There are honestly some people who play this game without audio. I don't know how they do it, or why they do it. Wow, that was a good strafing run. I hate when they're so good like that. Why are they never that good when I use them? Who knows? I'm sure it's just perception. They're probably just as good when I use them. It just doesn't feel as good. Because it feels worse to lose your squads than it feels to kill a whole bunch of enemy squads. Look at this officer. It's just taking so much damage and surviving just fine. The Vet 3 officer is so survivable. I don't understand how, but it is. Anyways, I'm going to use my Nebelwerfer, barrage the middle victory point, because that's the one that I have, and I guarantee my opponent wants to take it away from me right now. I don't actually see his infantry on the minimap, though, so I'm wondering if they're still there. There they are. Ooh, that was a nice one. Kill off the squad, kill off the squad. He has one guy left in that squad. I hope I kill it off. Who knows if I do or not. And need to retreat the Pyro Squad. And force retreat, maybe, maybe not. Is it worth it? I'm deciding. Maybe. Maybe not. I go for it. I decided it was worth it. That was a tough decision, because honestly it's using 100 munitions, which is a lot to me. Despite my 59 munition income per minute, 100 is still a lot for a single squad. But I guess I decided I wanted to keep that point for some reason. I don't know. It's not like I need the fuel. I mean, look, I have 418 fuel. I'm not in desperate need of fuel. So, I don't know. It was a tough decision. Officer is back on the field, now up to half health, and ooh, I can use him to... oh dear. That's 2 squads. I can't force retreat 2 squads with an officer. And I can't use my terror ability. I'm waiting for it to recharge, then I can use it. Or I can just run away. And running away was definitely the better option there, over spending 100 munitions. Especially when I can barrage my opponent like this. Not sure why my King Tiger said they hit us. Kinda odd, because I don't believe he got hit by anything. And ooh! There go the Nebelwerfers. I had 2 Nebelwerfers, and they're both decrewed now. Yay! Hooray for strafing runs! 100 victory points left for me. 270 for the opponent. I am triple capped. On the bright side, I'm having fun with the King Tiger and Goliaths. So, at least I got that going for me, right? I really don't have that much left, do I? I have a Volk squad, 2 or 3 Pyro squads, a Puma, and a King Tiger. And now 1 more Volk squad. Oh, and an officer. I forgot about the officer. And yes, I do have 3 Pyro squads. Make that 4, because I just finished building one. Alright, 74 victory points left. I'm triple capped. Let's do something about this. So, King Tiger's up first. Gets shot up by a couple AT guns, and now he's actually using the armor-piercing rounds, which do more damage and have more penetration. Ooh, that was a nice shot from the King Tiger, but now it's time to back up, King Tiger. You know, backing up is a really smart thing to do sometimes. I'm gonna use force retreat for my officer. Ooh, my King Tiger's immobilized. This is not good. King Tigers are not as strong as one might think that they are. This is not good. Got 2 AT guns firing at it. A whole bunch of recoilless rifles, I guess 4 of them. My King Tiger is down. That's not what I wanted at all. I do want to mention that I did use a force retreat on that MG squad at the left side of the map there. My opponent's MG squad. And that squad never actually retreated. I don't know what happened there. If you guys will go back and watch that fight, you'll see me use the terror force retreat, I believe it was. Yeah, the Terror Force Retreat is what I used on the MG squad. And the MG squad just didn't retreat. They were completely unaffected by that. I'm not sure why that happened. As far as I know, it does work on MG42s. And 30 cals as well. But I don't know. I don't know what happened. Now over here what I'm doing is actually very, very dangerous, because my opponent has a 30 cal in that building. At least as far as I know it's a 30 cal, and yep, it is a 30 cal. Hello, officer. Look at you, you're just surviving on Vet 3 right there. Now, this thing is super survivable with Vet 3, but as I was saying, on the right side here, what I'm doing is very risky because there's a 30 cal in that building, and 30 cals who use the armor-piercing rounds, which costs like only 30 munitions, which I'm sure my opponent has, they'll just tear apart a Puma. So that was very risky, but I really didn't have much of a choice because, as you can see, the victory points were counting down, and this was one of the games that I lost. This was not the one game that I won. Because the one game that I won, my opponent quit like halfway through, and it was not video worthy at all. So, yeah, that was using the Nebelwerfer, the Officer, and Goliaths. I made pretty good use of all 3 units, which is why I did decide to give this one for you guys, even though I did lose. But you saw how awesome the Goliaths are. They're just expensive, relatively speaking. Nebelwerfers were not too useful, but you did see them in action, and you see them get put to use. The Officer can be useful, just if you're going to get an Officer, don't go Terror. You don't need the double force retreat. Your opponent's going to have such a strong force after all those force retreats that you're not going to be able to do anything to it. So, just something to consider. The Officer, by the way, is 260 manpower, which is pretty much a full squad of its own, so you really got to make it worth it if you buy one. Anyways, guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you all have enjoyed seeing these unused units, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.